So there was an event organized by the Brooklyn Borough President and Reynoso and also the Brooklyn prosecutor, in which was supposed to stop gun violence and stop violence, and it was organized on June 20, 2025, a day after the black slaves were free. You know, and as an African, I always get discriminated against. They say Africans sold black Americans into slavery, so the Caribbeans and black Americans always ambush me for violence and stuff. So there was this event going on in front of the Brooklyn Borough President's office. Going on in front of the Brooklyn Borough President's office. I'm sorry for the interruption. My phone blackened on me. I thought it had cut off. So back to what I was saying, there was this event on June 20, 2025. You know, the Brooklyn Borough President's office, saying it was supposed to stop violence in general, and I believe gun violence specifically. You know, so they said the event, you know, they said the Brooklyn prosecutor was going to be there, and also they said they're going to give out John Legend tickets and stuff. You know, so I attended the event towards the end, you know, close to 5 p.m. And, you know, and I thought I would even meet the Brooklyn prosecutor, but he wasn't there. I guess he had left. You know, and so, you know, so, but I stayed to the end of the event. And so towards, at the end, they were like, so I'm here in Brooklyn. So like I was saying, it was on June 20, 2025. And so I was there, you know, towards the end of the event. And they said the Brooklyn Borough President and the prosecutor was supposed to be there. And I thought I would meet the prosecutor there. So at the end of the event, you know, and they were kind of like, you know, it was almost like they were mocking me during the event, you know, but I didn't say nothing. I was just standing there. So they said, you know, they have an impromptu performance that wasn't scheduled. And this guy came and was singing. It was a Caribbean guy. He was singing Africa Unite, Africa Unite. You know, I almost felt like he was mocking my dead mother, because my mother was killed by her daughters, Volani and Flora. So my mother said that daughters had been trying to kill her. That one of the daughters was an American citizen that filed a green card for my mother in 1998. My mother came in 1998 with that green card. And when she got here, that daughter was living in Pennsylvania. And as soon as she got here, that daughter was mistreating her. My mother had to flee. So that daughter wanted to kill her. He wouldn't give her food. And my mother couldn't get a job because she, you know, said they were discriminating against her, even though she had an associate degree in America. But she has a Nigerian accent, so nobody wanted to hire her, you know, to work in a bank in Pittsburgh. So she fled Pennsylvania as soon as she arrived from Nigeria. Fled Pennsylvania because the daughter was like not giving her food. The daughter was working, but wouldn't buy food in the house. So my mother fled and was homeless on the street here in New York. And she went to a shelter, and somebody here in Brooklyn, and somebody put a knife on my mother, you know, and the shelter almost stabbed her to death. But my mother survived, and she ended up working as a home aide. You know, she had to downgrade her job status. She used to work in a bank in Nigeria. She had an associate degree here in America from Bronx Community College, but no bank in America would employ her. They said she doesn't know how to use the computer and stuff. So she went and downgraded, started working as a home aide, and she escaped the shelter finally. And she said she would never live with those daughters again. And she came to Nigeria to pick me up in 2000, brought me to America. You know, she reunites me and her, but the immigration arrested me at the airport, saying they're not allowing children anymore. And my mother had a green card, I had a green card visa. But they arrested me in JFK in 2000. I was a minor child under 21. They said children are no longer allowed in America. So my mother had to spend $15,000 hiring lawyers. And the immigration wrongfully arrested me. They were just discriminating against me as a Nigerian kid. You know, even I spoke with a lot of immigration workers that became lawyers. They said, you know, they weren't supposed to do that. They said they just did it to just mess with me because they felt we Africans are weak, you know. You know, so they arrested me. I spent 8 years in immigration court. My mother spent $15,000 hiring lawyers, and the lawyers were also messing with us. They knew the immigration was just abusing us, so the lawyers would take money and would not show up in court. So I ended up, you know, 8 years, and during that time, my mother suffered a heart attack. Her high blood pressure was higher. She was earning minimum wage, working as a home method, and spent all the money hiring lawyers. So, you know, so then the police came into our home in 2010 and kicked my mother out when the basement apartment. So me and my mother was out on the street. So every Ghana in Australia said it was going to help my mother. So the police have no right to evict us from this apartment without a court order. And the police want to kill every Ghana. So my mother was so frustrated, and she wanted to stay with her daughter again. Even though she advised that she would never leave stay with her daughter. So my mother said her daughter was very jealous that, me and my mother was suing the police in New York and we're going to get millions of dollars because they kicked us out. So my mother said the daughters wanted to kill her. One of them was Flora, who drive my mother in the back of the car and go and hit somebody's house. Because now they knew my mother had problems on my immigration case, So they wanted to kill her fast, so they can get the money as inheritance and claim. Or in New York is, you know. So you know, so back to the connection to what happened on June 20, 2025. So a lot of people from the Caribbean know I'm an African. My mother's been killed by her daughters. While she was trying to reunite with the daughters just poisoned her and killed her off. So they hope they were going to make money from her death. And the Black American community and the Caribbean community wouldn't help me. You know, for some reason, some of the Caribbean and Black Americans don't like Africans, so we sold them to slavery. So I guess they feel if they help me, I'm going to win a lot of money. From the way my mother died, the way immigration arrested me, you know, I'm going to win a lot of money from the city of New York, and I'm going to win a lot of money from immigration. I said Black Americans and Caribbeans never got reparation for what happened to their ancestors. So it's like they want me to suffer and die on the street. So when I attended that event for gun violence on June 20, 2025, they said the borough president of Brooklyn, Reynoso, was going to be there, and the Brooklyn prosecutor was going to be there. And I was just looking for justice for the way my mother died. You know, I was hoping to speak with the prosecutor. So when I attended that event, as soon as I stood there, I noticed the mood change. It was like making mockery. You know, it was just very silent. You know, and passive aggressiveness. So they said, you know, there's somebody that's going to sing for us. To that person, we hope the person can sing. Because I've always wanted to be a musician. I always tell people I'm going to go to America and become a musician. You know, people who make fun of me in Nigeria, it's like, you know, we don't think it's possible. You know, so I guess there was a couple of people in Nigeria that used to make fun of me. That, you know, I used to tell them I'm going to win the Grammys when I come to America. So, you know, and all of a sudden, at the event, it was like they were making fun of me based on my history of always bragging in Nigeria. I'm going to come to America, I'm going to win the Grammys. And people tell me, no, it's not going to be possible, you're not going to win nothing. You know, my people just choose me in Nigeria like that. So, there was a Caribbean guy that said, you know, he was going to sing for us. So the Black American guy that introduced him said, you know, we hope this Caribbean guy can sing, you know, because, you know, we don't want him to waste our time. So the Caribbean guy started singing, Africa Unite. You know, they were playing the soundtrack. It was a reggae song from the computer. They were singing Africa Unite. You know, I guess they were just trying to make me remember how my mother died, why she was trying to reunite with her daughters in Pennsylvania, and they poisoned her and killed her off like an animal. You know, so the guys were just trying to traumatize me. You know, then after that, they were like, you know, that if anybody wants John Legend ticket, they could come register for John Legend tickets. You know, they're going to do a raffle, and they made it look like it's going to be free. You know, you can just register for the John Legend ticket or win a T-shirt. So they told me they had many T-shirts. So I reluctant, you know, so I went there because I thought it was free. You know, and but I thought, you know, they were going to try some hanky-panky, but I was like, you know, it's free. What's the harm? You know, there's no hanky-panky if it's free. So when I got there, lined up, they told me I have to pay $1. So okay, so I gave them $1. And then they announced only one winner. His name was Aris or something. It was a Black American. And, you know, they said, okay, what about the T-shirt? I said, you know, they suspended everything, no more T-shirt giveaway. And then I asked them, you know, look, I said, in the run of T-shirt, I'm like, you know, they said, that, you know, they only have small sizes. But they gave a light T-shirt to a fat guy, and the fat guy was lying that it's a small size. You know, so I recorded a lot of the interaction on, I posted it to YouTube. So I'm trying to play some of it right now. Even though my screen recorder, the memory's about to run out. You know, so this recording may stop abruptly. I don't know, that's why I'm trying to speak fast. I'm not crazy if I'm speaking fast. It's just that I'm using a free screen recorder and it may run, you know. So this is, you know, so this is me approaching them. Excuse me, I thought they were going to do lottery for T-shirts also.
But that's who, oh, I'm not sure, I don't even know.
Huh?
That table over there.
Where? That's they're telling me they're not sure, and one of them told me to go, you know, go ask the other guys. Excuse me, sir, I'm so sorry. Hi. Excuse me. I think you're going to do lottery for T-shirts.
I don't have no more than 50. I'm sorry. I never.
So you suspended the T-shirt? He's ignoring your stuff, but no, called to me. He said there's no more T-shirt, but give the fat guy T-shirt. So the T-shirt is small. I called the raffle also.
We was thinking we was waiting. No, I told you we was finished.
No, you're good. Excuse me. I bought the raffle also.
No, we did the raffle.
For the T-shirt, I bought it $1.
I'm saying we did all of the raffle. All of the T-shirts and the raffles are gone. I don't have a T-shirt that'll fit you.
That's why I paid $1. I thought we got a raffle for the T-shirt.
I'll give you $1. Huh?
This one doesn't have a T-shirt, but try a T-shirt and give it to the fat guy. And says a small t-shirt. How can a fat guy wear t-shirt and I can't wear t-shirt? I'm not fat. You know, I got a small t-shirt. This guy's fat. It was really so it was seem more father when I met him. So the camera made him clean him.
That's like enough to fit me also. What size is that? That was smaller. Yeah.
It's not a small t-shirt, it's large. So the same size, they're all one the same size.
Yeah, don't worry about it. They played me. They tell you if you play the $1 route, you get a t-shirt. I was still trying to get a t-shirt. I know I couldn't go. You know, as soon as I played the lottery, they were laughing at me. Suspended t-shirt raffle. They can give the $1. This is the Antonio. They said the John Legend ticket. They said they could win the John Legend ticket. You know, and it made it look like it was going to be multiple John Legend tickets to meet John Legend. You know, and they gave it to one person only. And they suspended everything. You know, if they don't want me to win in life, it's okay. But stop using all these musicians' names to defraud people. Yeah, no, but I sent a message to John Legend. Yeah, when the organized prosecutor was here, that's why I don't really like to stop all this street scares and stuff. I don't want to get tired of getting duped everywhere. Some kind of monkey governor.
Okay, so they bully me and stuff. So I went on the Brooklyn Borough President website to see, you know, if they would put the events, because they always, you know, put past events on their website, to the ads for it, to make sure, you know, they did promise multiple John Legend tickets and they promised multiple t-shirts. And why they told me, you know, they don't have any more, and they only gave away one ticket instead of multiple tickets for John Legend concert. You know, I know, you know, they don't post that event. So why are they hiding? They post the event of April 10, they post the event of March 20. You think stop a gun violence event? You know, they'll post it on their website, especially they said the Brooklyn prosecutor attended, victims of gun violence and the loved ones that died, you know, their family members attended, some people on wheelchairs from gun violence. Why wouldn't they not post it on the Brooklyn Borough President's website? And they post everything else. You know, so I believe they may be covering up something, I don't know. Then I went on their Instagram to see maybe, you know, they were just lackadaisical with their website. You know, and on their Instagram they have other events of recent, like the gay parade, which happened like 2 days ago, but the event of like 3 days ago on June 20, which I attended, they don't have no information. You know, so, you know, they had the Juneteenth event, you know. So how come they advertise everywhere, put all the ads there? And I've reached out to this borough president in the past before to help me with my housing situation, but you know, I don't know if he didn't want to help me, but he didn't help me. He referred me back to the borough president of Staten Island. I told me I'm ready to stay in a shelter here in Brooklyn, and they mistreated us. After the police took our home on Staten Island, you know, and the HPD, we were staying in a basement apartment, and the police came and removed us. So the HPD moved us to Brooklyn shelter, and they were mistreating us in Brooklyn. The Brooklyn shelter was mistreating me and my mother. So I told him to help me investigate it, but you know, his office told me to call the Staten Island Borough President's office. So I called the Staten Island Borough President's office, and this lady called Miss Dinkinson, you know, and she told me I should just go to any shelter. That's what I said, no, my mother and I experience violence in general shelters. There's a court order that says we belong in a special shelter, in a special hotel room. Since the 1990s, the Legal Aid Society filed a lawsuit that if anybody's vacated from a basement apartment, the city of New York has to put you in a special hotel room where you have kitchen and food away from the general shelter population. Because they saw, you know, we're a special case if we are already living in an apartment when the city of New York remove you because the field basement is unsafe. We're different from just the general homeless that may have left prison and the homeless. You know, we're not just indigent because of criminal history or whatever. You know,
So they're hiding this event and this has to be investigated. They were very condescending against me. At the event, and I've noticed a lot of black Americans and Caribbean people don't want to help me. Both lawyers and, politicians. So the event was 2 days ago, June 20th. And on the board president posted other events of 2 days ago, but wouldn't post the gun violence stuff. So I don't know what they're covering up. So please, the borough prosecutor has to investigate this because they use your name, borough prosecutor Gonzalez, to advertise the event. And they said they were going to give out multiple Your Legend tickets and also multiple t-shirts. And they made it look like it was going to be free. And so when I lined up for the ticket, I told me I have to pay $1. And they didn't give me nothing. Made me look like a loser. So there are blacks attacking other blacks. I'm an African and I'm a Nigerian and I'm getting discriminated against. So this DJ was the one playing the soundtrack as they invited a Caribbean guy to sing Africa Unite. So he was singing a song, Africa Unite. I felt like I was just making fun of my dead mother. And with a Nigerian pastor, TV Joshua, it's very popular. Many Americans travel to Nigeria to go to that church, synagogue church. He told my mother, that God wants my mother to reunite with everybody that's wronged her. So my mother, when the police came and removed us from our home on Staten Island, my mother thought I was a kill for her to go and rejoin her daughters that were trying to kill her in 1998. She had escaped those daughters in 1998 and she thought she was free forever. So because of what the Nigerian pastor told her that God wants her to reunite with everybody that's wronged her. So and the shelters here in New York didn't want my mother because she's Nigerian. So my mother told me she didn't want to be on the street either. There's only crazy people on the street, I told her to stay on the street so that we can get senior housing that she applied for. I told her those daughters are not going to be, are not nice, because those daughters also lied on me when I went to stay with them. In 2000, they locked me up in a psychiatric hospital. I was crazy. They hit me with a car also and lied that I was crazy. And, and I had an immigration case to attend in New York in 2001, really funny. And they lied to the hospital. I don't have any immigration case. The hospital to keep me there. I had to call my lawyer in New York. They called the hospital. Those are just lying. And that's when the Mercy Hospital in Pennsylvania, I apologized to them that we're so sorry. We could never thought your own family member would just lie on you, hit you with a car, and lock you up. I just arrived from Nigeria with my mother. So my mother took me to go and stay with those daughters because we're staying in a hotel then and it was so expensive. So my mother told me I should come with her to go to Pennsylvania. I told her no. I don't want to stay with your daughter. So I was like, no, you're not going to stay there. We're just going there for one day. She told me she has important things to go get there because she was trying to apply for U.S. citizenship and she has some things she wants to get from there. So I followed her, to Pennsylvania. And when we got there, my mother got into the car and she was trying to come to New York. So I got into the car with her. That daughter kicked me out of the car floor and hit me with the car and sped off. And so they kidnapped me, left me in Pennsylvania without my mother. And the other daughter, Bolani, called the police on me, said I had a weapon. So at that time, that Bolani said, she was watching the Diallo case, how the police killed Diallo with 40 bullets. And she was telling me that case really touched her, that the police are dangerous in America. She was telling me to be aware that the police can harm me for being a black. I was a male, then now a female. So she always talk about that Diallo case a lot. All of a sudden, she tried to get me killed. Diallo was killed. Called the police immediately after the other daughter hit me with a car. They always call joint to attack people. They beat up the white family they were staying with also, without Bolani and Flora. And when they were teenagers in Pennsylvania. So as soon as the other daughter, Flora, my mother's daughter Flora, hit me with a car, the other daughter Bolani was there and called the police to try to cover for that daughter. Said I was the one attacking them and had a weapon. And they brought a special emergency unit of the Pittsburgh police. And they surrounded the whole area, and people are watching, like, is this a movie? Why would they hit somebody with a car and call the police on this person? And they took me away, went and locked me in Mercy Hospital, psychiatric hospital. This was in 2001. My mother just came from Nigeria. It was a culture shock. It was like I was in the middle of the movie, just like Diallo. That daughter wanted me killed like Diallo. She always plays the lottery then. And she always tells me, if I know any lottery number, she gives it to her, so she can play it, for herself. Because I told her sometimes when I dream, the dream comes to pass.
And she was like, really? She's like, if you ever dream of the lottery number, give it to me, I'll play it, you know. Yeah, my mother said she was on drugs, she was looking for that balance. You know, just so much when I dream, it will come to pass. You know, she was like, you know, if God ever says your lottery number, so give it to me, I'm gonna play it. And she was talking real fast, like she was on drugs or something. You know, and then she tried to kill me like Diallo was killed. You know, and they went and locked me up in the Pittsburgh Mercy Psychiatric Hospital. And I was telling the other hospital that they need to release me because I have an immigration case in New York. And they tried to confront with my mother's daughter politely, and she told them, no, I don't have an immigration case. I'm just psychiatrically ill. That's why I think I have an immigration case. You know, so I had to call my lawyer in New York, Ralph DiPietro, and they called the hospital. And that's when the hospital apologized to me. But they never called the police to arrest my mother's daughter. And 14 years later, that daughter poisoned my mother. As my mother was about to have a heart attack, she ran back to New York. And that daughter followed her in pursuit, went to the hospital, and told the hospital to lock my mother up in a cycle. Just to get my mother to die so that she can win money for herself and claim the police kicking my mother out of the home, and the immigration case I had caused my mother to die of a heart attack. You know, so she staked that killing, you know. So a lot of the people in the black community and Caribbean community are aware, and they just make fun of me. And they believe as an African, that's what I deserve, we Africans deserve, you know. So when I went to this event, I believe it was a continuation of that. And you know, as you can see, if you can watch the video on YouTube clearer, you will see those Caribbean and black Americans were just avoiding me. When I asked a question, they were avoiding me. And one of them was about to snitch, you know, and the other guy was like, hey, I heard him, say, don't talk, hey, you know, they were covering up something. One of them was about to, the fat guy knew it was on cam, I was recording him. So you see this clearer. I lowered the volume not to cause any distraction. So this fat guy, another black American guy came to meet him and was about to snitch that what's up with the raffle tickets and what's going on, you know, what kind of game is this, you know. I was like, hey, don't try, they were both laugh, you know, that's their cover, you know. So this fat guy with the blue t-shirt is one of the instigators, you know. Hey, this is the event. See this one, you know, was about to snitch, you know, and then the fat guy touches, hey, you know, say go away, don't snitch, those cameras recorded, you know. So they were just trying to promote violence, they were trying to get me mad. People have been telling me we're going to get you killed like Jordan Neely was killed. Jordan Neely was a homeless black American that was angry that his own mother was killed. He was homeless, and a white guy snuck behind him and choked him dead. So anytime a black American is killed, you know, as I'm homeless, also some black Americans will tell me, you know, we're going to get you killed the same way. So everything that happened to us, we're going to do to you Africans also, you know. So and I believe there's a camera at the courthouse at the background, Brooklyn Supreme Court. You know, and they were saying this is a small t-shirt, they can't give it to me, it's too small. I'm like, that t-shirt's not small. This guy is fat and it fits him. So they were all lying. So this is fraud, you know. I believe they have the same size for everybody. I don't believe, you know, the kids and the adults, even the guy, this guy with the sneakers, him and his sons, you know, they wear the same t-shirts, it's like the same size. They have only one size, you know. But they have, you know, they add no small. It was just one size. And that can be traced. If they only ordered one size and they're lying, they have multiple sizes. So this is what's going on. You know, as I'm talking, some people are arguing each other and riding on their motorcycle. Say, shut the fuck up, you know. So, you know, they just walk past. But there's a camera that'll pick it up. This is Oyster Livingston. So there are black Americans that terrorize me in this neighborhood. They were driving recklessly on a motorcycle. 2 people, there's a police camera. One time, a guy tried to hit me with a UPS trucker. You know, I said, no, I'm not trying to hit. I wasn't trying to kill you. You know, you're the last person anybody would want to kill. You know, and he was laughing. You know, so the police camera will pick it up. You know, there's a police camera there. This is Oyster Livingston. And I hope the car doesn't knock me over. So this car flash prevented. Normally the police camera will be able to view me. You know, but they have the scarf footer preventing it now. When I'm here, the police camera can view me. They put a scarf footer there. I don't know what kind of work they're doing. There's a police camera right there. Those 2 lights. You know, that's a police camera. You know, I'm trying to expand the view. Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah, those two lights there. That's the police camera. With the circle, with the padlock. Yeah, that's the police camera. So this is Livingston. So so like two black Americans are riding on the motorcycle, holding each other, and one was shouting, "Shut the fuck up!" So they always try to, so they form a black American mob, and they were telling me they're going to lie against me and kill me in the bathroom. So I'm doing drugs in the bathroom. And I went to Target store a couple of days ago on Greenwich Street. While I was in the bathroom, all of a sudden I heard the alarm. Fire alarm. Wah, 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 wah. I got scared. I have diarrhea. I couldn't use the bathroom anymore. And they called the fire service and everything on Greenwich Street. In my hand, I said, what's going on? I said, it was a false alarm. And I always go to the bathroom to go to that store close to their closing time. They close at 11. I always go there like 10:30 p.m. Just to avoid people, because sometimes they will form a line and block me from using the women's bathroom. So I go there like close to their closing time. So they know I normally go there to shop. And the people have been telling me that if you use any bathroom in America, whether subway, train bathroom for customers, we're going or stores bathroom, we're going to lie. So they have some black American security, that work in all this Target store, and they always harass me, and they said the new thing the way they're going to kill me is to lie that I'm in the bathroom doing drugs. I'm a crackhead. So everything that's happened to black Americans in this country, so this is how they used to kill black Americans, call them crackhead. So they're going to call me a crackhead, and they're going to have me killed. So we're going to avenge against you Africans. So they're mocking me everywhere. Brooklyn Borough President and Brooklyn Prosecutor, please, there's an attempt on my life, and you have to get all this evidence quick, and please help me. So I'm going to send you this video. You can't hesitate anymore. They almost killed me a couple of days ago. I went to use the bathroom at Target store on Greenwich Street, and the black American security guard there, I think, called the fire ambulance, and I was in the bathroom. Some white women came in there. I could hear their voice. They were laughing, and they left, and all of a sudden I started hearing, wham, we know the fire alarm in the bathroom, and I was trying to turn my phone camera on. All of a sudden, it's like somebody hacked into my phone and removed the camera icon like this, and then when I got outside of the bathroom, I asked the black American security. He said, what is going on? You guys seem calm. There's a fire alarm blowing up, and you guys seem calm. It's like, yeah, it's just a false alert, don't worry. And the fire ambulance was already outside, and people have been threatening me that I'm going to get killed soon. They're going to call me a crackhead in the bathroom. So everything that's happened to black Americans, they're going to do to me in the past. And there's a Target store here on Atlantic Avenue. I used to go there, and the black Americans would be making fun of me, holding their nose to want to say to me. Anytime I go there, they exaggerate and run away from me. So get away! Oh, you stink! Oh, you stink! Get away! You stink! A lot of homeless black Americans go there, and they'll call the police on me. They'll be exaggerating. So, oh my goodness, the African stinks! Oh my goodness! And they will embarrass me, and the person, get out now, you stink! And they will embarrass me, Then when I go outside, the black American gangs will start punching me in this neighborhood. And I heard they did it to a Spanish male. He was sitting in front of that Target store in Brooklyn. So some gang came and started punching him, and they beat him to death. His name is Hernandez, Michael Hernandez. I used to call the police on this black American gang, and they wouldn't help me. They're a gang. They always attack outsiders like me. I think somebody placed them here to be annoying me. Some of them were riding the motorcycle. They've been riding back and forth. They said, shut the fuck up, And they were holding each other tight, and they were, they could have run into anything, riding the motorcycle. I don't even think they were wearing helmets. So this is Livingston, and my camera is not so good. I hope the cars don't hit me. I hope they don't come back with a motorcycle and hit me. So please, Brooklyn prosecutor, I shouldn't be doing your job. You have police protection. I don't have nothing. So, I've been reaching out to you. Please don't avoid me anymore. There's a Spanish guy killed. And I believe it was a gang, that gang that was hired by somebody to kill me, because they want to show Africans that, that they're going to pay us back for slavery. Some of these black Americans tell me, so we're going to pay you Africans back for slavery. It's on. I believe they must have experimented on that Spanish guy's life to see how the world will react. And they punch and stab that Spanish guy, Michael Hernandez, today. Around the Target store. And they were just trying to test out to see if there's going to be a big investigation. And so far, no big investigation. I think they're coming after me next. In Manhattan, everywhere, I've been posting videos on Instagram everywhere. Some Black Americans attack me everywhere. So Brooklyn prosecutor got to help me. For 25 years, I've been in America. I've been experiencing human trafficking. My mother mistakenly, tricked me to go stay with her daughters in Pennsylvania, and that one of the daughters was money hungry. She was so obsessed about the way Diallo was killed and the way the family got money. And she tried to set me up, call the Pittsburgh PA police defend on me, and lied I had a weapon. They should come with all their resources to come and take me out. She just tried to kill me like Diallo was killed. It was such a culture shock to me. I just arrived here from Nigeria with my mother, and I was surrounded by police, and I didn't even know what to do, And she wanted me killed, like Diallo was killed, because they said, it was from West Africa. I just arrived in America, and the police were looking for the wrong person, and they killed him with 40 bullets. So she was just trying to get money for drugs violently, So this is what is going on. Brooklyn prosecutor, you have to help me. I'm a Nigerian. I'm stranded in America. My mother's been killed. My friend Eric Garner trying to help me has been killed. The police took my home. Brooklyn prosecutor Hernandez, you have to help me. They said they're going to kill me any moment from now. Also, I don't have adequate clothing, so they're going to lie I'm just a crackhead. And use the hot weather as an excuse. I don't even have to dress. So I don't even have a proper clothing. They've been stealing all my clothing. So I don't have even adequate clothing. All my clothing I had a storage, the auction of all my stuff. During the COVID, even though there was a debt collection ban, and the storage, American storage of Staten Island, and extra space storage in Harlem, both storage auction of all my stuff. I used to pay like almost $400 a month for both storages, or close to $200 a month for both storages. I had that storage for many, many years. I had all my immigration stuff, extra stuff, and they stole everything, auctioned it off. During that COVID, in 2020, COVID had just started, there was a ban on debt collection, and there was a ban on gathering indoors. And they both didn't inform me on time, but I was able to get to the one on Staten Island, and I called the police right away. See, they're trying to do an indoor auction. It's 2020 back then. I said there's a ban on indoor gathering, and the police told me, get out of here, we don't care. But they were arresting whites that would drink in bars. They were arresting people that would indoor gather. But when I called the police on Staten Island, they wouldn't help me. So the police here don't like me, because when the police removed me, my mother sued them. And the one time killed Eric Garner was helping me. So from Staten Island, where they killed my friend Eric Garner, where the police removed my mother from my basement apartment, now they've extended this violence everywhere I go. When the Black American gangs attack me, because they see I'm a Nigerian stranded with a green card, and it's not safe for me to return to Nigeria because I have a green card here, and I have to stay here to maintain my green card status, and I'm also a transsexual, and they kill transsexuals in Nigeria. And it's not safe for me in any other country, because, America is a NATO partnership with Canada, England. So they said, any of these countries, they support America, and they support the U.S. police force. So any of these countries, the gangs there can kill me, and the police there will cover for them. So the only place I'm safe is the crime scene, which is America here. I'm so sorry to say it like this. So please, Brooklyn prosecutor, you can't avoid me anymore. It's the weather's getting hotter, and the Black Americans kicking me, attacking me everywhere. They say they're soon going to get me down, and they're relying on the police not to investigate it for me, because I'm a Nigerian, and they're relying on the fact that Diallo was killed by the police with 40 bullets while he was just trying to show them his ID. And they moved the case off state because there was so much uproar. I say off state is much more conservative, and I guess him being an African, they dismissed the case against those police. I quitted them. Eric Garner also, he was trying to help me. The police went and killed him around my birthday. At the same place where I met Eric Garner, he saw me with my bags like this and told me he was going to help me. What happened to him? I explained. On base and visible. That same 2014, after I finished talking to him, the police started arresting him and killed him around my birthday in July. I'm born in July. In July 2014, that's when they killed him. So they don't let me testify for anywhere. I have been reaching out to prosecutors like you, Brooklyn prosecutor. Please, you gotta help me. This is getting more serious. So this was going on. There was a day they tried to hit me with a UPS truck here, and the guy was smiling. So, I was saying we were the last person anybody would try to kill. You know, and it was smiling, and then he tried to hit me with the truck again. And another day I came here, they put doo-doo on the floor here, and the lights was darkened, so I stepped into doo-doo. So anytime I come in, they try to terrorize me. You know, because they know I was coming to use the internet. I applied for my first-time card here, and they delayed, but it was approved. So they know I was coming to use the internet, and you know, so they always try to make me suffer for the fact that I was approved for food stamp and welfare. Every time I go to the food stamp office around this neighborhood, they will stream with air freshener also. So they help Black Americans and people, Americans in general, they will exaggerate something about me. You know, they will call the police to incite panic and terror, and they hope to kill me. They say, you know, that's the best way to kill a black person. Make it look like an accidental killing, quote unquote. You know, they say they've killed many Black Americans like this in the past.